Hi traders, welcome to the full market analysis for the 14th of May. Hope you're having a wonderful day. We've seen gold fall dramatically today as expected. As mentioned yesterday, target hit 446 pips down to 32.15 and it went way beyond that today. And then there was another short position during this session here, whatever time that was. Yes, Asian session down, and then we can see there was a bit of a correction and then down during the New York session. Now, one of the things, well, there's a few questions coming in, so thank you for the questions. So I'll try and cover those in the next few minutes for you. But in your list, once you've got the Advanced Pro charts, the Advanced Pro charts includes everything, including the gold on steroids and the gold on steroids 5.2 and the Advanced Pro charts, etc. So you should have 3 listed. So just go to here and you'll have 1, 2, 3. The gold on steroids, because it's a software based system, is called 15-minute Pine Script. Okay, so just click on that and open that up and then you'll get this exactly the same. So what I've got here is I've got the 30-minute on the left. You can use 15-minute, doesn't matter. I don't use any other charts. I'm not particularly interested in the 4-hour or the daily because there's enough movement within gold to give us enough profits during the short sessions that we're trading. So we can see that there was a short position at 12.45 below the 50 moving average here. Once it goes below the 50, that's your short position to enter. And so you're looking for sells only at this stage. Now, one of the things that the gold on steroids does, it measures volatility. And once we get a position where you've got an outside bar, there's no demand anymore. There was demand at 31.94. That's been taken out. So there is no demand for the price at the moment. Now, it can form a demand area, but there's no demand at the moment. As we can see, it's broken all the support lines previously. So one thing that you should do, and it is recommended, I'm not going to go short on this position because basically there's going to be a bounce at some stage in the next few hours and we don't know where. If there was a demand area, then of course it'd be much easier to try and make out where the bounce is going to be. But going short in these conditions is not very wise. You might feel disappointed you've not got that position short, and that's fair enough. But at the end of the day, we often find 80% of the time there's a big bounce coming. So you're better off waiting for the bounce. Now, in terms of the entry point, once you've got the bounce, then what you want to be looking for, let me try and give you an example here. So there's a nice bounce there. What you want to do is see that the price is moved above the 50 moving average. See that move there? So you can see that that's going to bring 200 pips there. Now 200 pips might not seem a lot, but it is. So once that happens, all you're waiting for is the price to move above the 50. This is the 50 moving average. So the price is going to find its feet somewhere around here, and then it's going to move up and up and up, and then it's going to break, and then you can use this as a target here back to 32.15. Remember that 32.15 was the support earlier today. It's now resistance, of course. So better to wait for the position to go short again if you wish, like there, and then short again to there, or not do anything at all because some of the Forex markets are setting up really nicely, which we'll go over now. So hopefully that's helpful to some of you. So this is my gold on steroids setup. Again, it's not about being perfect. It's not perfect, and no system ever is. So you will leave some money on the table. That's fair enough, but you need to leave money on the table anyway. But what you want to do is get into safe positions, which are going to make a lot of money. So let's go into the markets. Where should we go first? Let's go into the DXY. Now there's been some significant pullbacks into the market now, as we expected. As I mentioned previously, so pound New Zealand long, US Canadian long, Euro Canadian short, so I'll cover those in the next few minutes, and US yen is setting up lovely for a position, and I'll cover that in a moment. What I like about the DXY, and this is typical what we want to see here at the Trading Mentors, is we want to see a price move down. You don't want to be buying up the top there. That is no good to you or anybody else. And you want to be going with the trend. The trend is your friend, as we all know. And we can see that it's moving into a very high demand area here, with price cycle is now oversold in an uptrend. So the challenge for the US yen now, it needs to make its mind up whether it's actually going to continue the trend or it's going to break down below this area here and then move down. But as far as we're concerned, we can see that the price is now moved into a demand area, not a very strong demand area, but certainly oversold in an uptrend. And that's what you want to see. Okay, we can also note here that all the buyers are in on the daily as well. So this indicates that the price is highly likely to continue up on the Advanced Pro charts. Now we can go a bit closer if you want to into the 30-minute chart, and we can see that what's going on there. It's finding some support here on the 30-minute as well. So that this indicates that the dollar is going to go up, and by the way, the US yen is doing exactly the same pattern as well. So that indicates that there's a direct correlation with the DXY. Now into the yen futures, as I mentioned previously, we are expecting a pullback, and we have got it. So this is fantastic. So what this means to us here at the Trading Mentors, we want to make sure that we're going in the right direction at the right time. And this is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. These charts never cease to amaze me, even after 35 years of doing it. It is incredible. So we do expect the yen futures to continue down. We already have a target on the left. See that? 67.15. 67.15. So that's a nice target to go by somewhere down there. Now what that means in terms of correlation, we don't trade the yen futures, of course. We do trade the yen pairs. And the correlation is that once this price starts to move back down to 67, 67.15 or thereabouts, remember this is a demand area. It can move anywhere in between this area here before it bites or gets taken out completely. We just don't know. But we do know there is demand at that point for the yen futures. So in other words, we do expect the price to give way into the next few days and then start to move down back into demand again. And that gives us the opportunity to buy the euro yen, the pound yen, Swiss yen, etc. in the next probably 24 hours or so. Similar pattern for the Swiss franc futures. These do run pretty along each other actually, Swiss franc futures and yen futures. We are expecting further downside momentum. This price has lots of sellers in it, has all the sellers in it on the left, as you can see. So we do expect the price. It's hit our weekly forex forecast from Sunday, so that's been hit, and there is a possibility there's going to be a bounce up as mentioned in the weekly forex forecast, but I think it may well have further downside to 11757. All the sellers are in. Looks like to me that this needs to move up a little bit more into this here, which is correlation. I would love to see it up in here into 122.50. That would be fantastic. Probably won't get that far. So we'll be looking for this to go short. And what that means is all the Swiss pairs will be going up at some stage. Now onto the indices. There's not much going on in the indices at the moment. They seem to be holding on a little bit to the prices from the last few days. And I know there's some speeches going on in the USA today as well, which is causing prices to remain pretty stagnant, except for the dollar, of course. Except for gold. So this is the Dow Jones Index. On the left, we can see it's hitting a major supply area, but there may be a little bit more room for this price to go up. But in order for that to happen, I do need to see the price move down a little bit into this support line here, where the price is likely to bounce, and then we'll have a target of 42,683. So generally speaking, we can see that there's no real pullbacks in the markets at the moment. The prices are just drifting. Gold has broken down on demand. Demand on the 4-hour chart is still 32.12. So by the end of the day, we will know whether the gold is going to bite and have a big move much higher. We can see that the demand is holding. 32.00 is a big number. If it bounces from here, then we could see a big move higher. But at the moment, all the sellers are in, so don't even think about buying it at the moment. It is not in a buying arena. Now, I posted this into the VIP room, so have a look out for the euro dollar. We can see on the left that all the sellers are in. There is a longer term trend upwards, as we can see, so this might be a bit of a short term trade, but nonetheless, this is a pattern that we often see, a correction within a downtrend. We can see the shape of it quite clearly, and the risk to reward is going to be massive. So look out for that. You need to see 2.6, but I think this could go down even further. Looks like there could be a position down to 107.86. Depends on the dollar, of course. If the dollar strengthens, as it seems to, might want to, then of course this will drive this lower. So we'll keep an eye on the dollar. Of course, similar pattern for the pound USD, where we can expect probably further downside depending on the dollar. Euro dollar looks better actually. Aussie USD, congratulations if you traded the, let's go into a little bit more detail here. So this was the Aussie, I mentioned this probably last week sometime. It came back into demand, but notice the trend is up. Here, see the channel here, so this is breaking into a convergence area, into the trend line, into the demand, and 63.63 was the perfect entry, and headed for 64.90. Congratulations for a nice 127 pips. It might not seem a lot, but look at the risk reward, fantastic 4.52. But even if you get in a bit late, don't worry about that. Just make sure you've got 2 to 1. It doesn't matter. It's just a matter of learning how to get the entries in as soon as possible. So demand areas are there for a reason, especially with the trend. They are saying to you, this is where the demand is, this is where the institutions are buying in. The Kiwi looks really nice actually. Have a look at the price cycle here. This is fantastic, and this is what you want to see. I would like to see it in a supply zone, but you can't have everything, I guess, and it's not about perfection. But we can see that the price has now reached an area of major resistance on the lower time frame as well. So this is highly likely to go down in the next few days. And guess what? Your target is already set for you. Your target is already set for you. How many people can say that? 58.60. So here's a trading idea which you might want to use. Trade at your own risk, of course. $2.31 risk to reward, which is fantastic. Stop loss 59.79, call it 59.80, round number, and 58.60 is your target. Good trading, enjoy. Now this is getting ready. I mentioned this in the VIP room as well. Again, it's reliant on the dollar going stronger, and so you do need to see that. Let's go down to the lower time frame and we can see this in action now. Now for me, I'm going to wait for this price to break this trend line here. It's green for buy, and once it does 83.86, then you can expect it to go to 85.38, giving you 2.23 times risk to reward. Good luck with that trade. US Canadian, was it? Yeah, it's making money. Just look at my MT4 account. Fantastic. Happy days. Let's do the analysis, guys. The pattern doesn't change. The pattern doesn't change. Would I like to see a demand area? Yes, I would. But there isn't one. So that's life. But what we do have is a oversold situation on the price cycle in an uptrend. So even if it doesn't work, there's enough information here to suggest that the price is highly likely to move up to 140.43. Let's have a look on the lower time frame, see what that looks like. So this is the 30-minute chart on the gold on steroids, the Advanced Pro charts. Your targets are already set. Your support lines and Fibonacci lines are already set. And you can see the first thing is above the central pivot for yesterday, which is great. So the chance of this being highly successful are highly likely. On to the US yen. Now let me just deal with this. First of all, look on the left. We can see that there is a target 150.43, which was the weekly Forex forecast. That's highly likely to be hit in the next few days. And we do have a support line here as well on the 4-hour as well. And we have confirmation that the price cycle is very cheap, and so it's very low and highly likely to move up. Down to the lower time frame, if you like, you can see that the price is actually doing nothing. It's completely flat on this area here. So we can actually wait for the break of the trend line. So something like this is highly likely to take the price much higher in the next few, well, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, who knows, but something like that. Doesn't look ready yet, but it may be ready this afternoon. Euro Aussie to the downside. This was looking really nice, actually. If you got into this area here, I know some of you did, so congratulations. Fantastic move there. How many pips is that? Did you get it? Did you get it? 262 pips down to there. Fantastic. Well done if you did. Look out for price cycle. Remember, I'm posting these maybe after the event, before the event, doesn't matter. But it's all about learning here at the Trading Mentors. It's not just about posting and then you copying what I'm doing. It's not about that. It's about you learning what works and what doesn't work. What works is the Advanced Pro charts really, really well. And you make thousands and thousands of pips. So there's been a few questions coming in particular from Laurie. Thanks, Laurie, for the questions, by the way. There is a really helpful questions because other people might be thinking the same thing. So let's go into the detail of this. So how to get a better entry, how to manage your position by reducing your risk, and also to reduce your risk along the journey if you wish. For me, I just let it go. I'm not particularly bothered. I come back to it. So I enter it. We've gone short the Euro Canadian. It's going against us now, but so what? I'll cover that in a minute. The US Canadian is making money, starting to make a move. The pound New Zealand is pretty flat. So just looking at my MT4 account. So how can we manage a position? The first thing I would say is enter it, put in your target, and let it go. That's the first thing. If you can be relaxed like that, then all the better. More power to your elbow, and you can actually just relax and go and play golf, which is the whole point. However, if you feel like you want to get into the position and manage the position in a much better way using the Advanced Pro charts, you can. And you can also use this as a day trading method as well. So we can see first of all, at the beginning of the move on the Euro Aussie, this is a 30-minute chart. We can see it's come into the Fibonacci area, the sell zone as we call it. The sell zone's also on the 4-hour as well, so that's nice. We'd like to see that. But also what you can do, you can actually use this as your trailing stop. So once you get into this position, you're going to go short here, let's say, or here, or here, wherever you're going to get short. You want to get close to this red zone, the sell zone, as possible, because your risk to reward is really important. And if you're holding on to the position, you just move your stop to here, 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 and so on and so forth. So during that journey, of course, you can actually just lock in your profits. 297 pips there. Congratulations. I know some of you traded this, so well done. And if you are trading without without me telling you when to trade it, then you're doing really well. And I want you to do that. I don't want you to rely on me or anybody else. I want you to become independent professional traders. So this is the position we've got now on the Euro Aussie. Are we going to buy? Are we going to sell it? We're going to do nothing. Okay. Hopefully that is helpful. So that is the journey there, as you can see, and that's what you're looking for. You're looking for the price to come into an area where it's highly likely probably to make a lot of money. Pound, Aussie, I mentioned this a few days ago. It was just drifting, really, to be honest. Not one that I like very much. Now, Euro Canadian going against us, but that's okay. Don't worry about it. One thing I've just noticed here, we do have a great big supply zone here, and that's really important. But also look at the price cycle. Not quite finished. Not quite finished, but it will kick in, don't worry. If that trend is going to continue, look on the left. All the sellers are in. This is going down, probably down to 153.50, somewhere like that. So we've got target here 155.10, which gives us a nice 3.32 risk to reward. Massive risk to reward. So don't be concerned if it's not working out. At the moment it's going against you, but so what? The trend will kick in, usually does. We can see here on the closer time frame, on the 30-minute chart, I'm not bothered about the super trend. Personally speaking, I just want to get into the position on this area here, the red zone, the sell zone into supply, and then the price, well, it should give way in the next few hours. New Zealand Canadian, I did post this some time ago, and hopefully you're still in it. I mean, it isn't my favorite trade, but it did bounce off this demand area here, and it was oversold, so that indicates the price is highly likely to go up. I wouldn't be in it now personally, and the reason for that is the price cycle is now overbought in a downtrend on supply. So this is not a trade I would be happy to take it to 83.53. It's probably not going to happen, to be honest. It might happen, but there are better trades to be had. Aussie Canadian, congratulations, and lovely move here on the Advanced Pro charts as it came down into this area here. And we can see that the price cycle here again is clear to see. And again, once again, you are given your targets before they get hit. Congratulations on the Euro New Zealand, a fantastic trade. Went straight up to 618, didn't it? And then came back down and then back into this double bottom here. I did close it early because often when you see this happening, you can spot a double bottom here, which often acts as support. And you can see the demand area here. If you had held it to there, it probably will get hit, but it needs to break down. Even stronger downtrend, doesn't it? And if you can bank 269 pips with a 4.26 risk reward, it doesn't get any better than that, does it? Now to the pound New Zealand. Now this is it's not on demand, but it is looking, it's certainly an uptrend. It could be limited to this area, but we'll see how we go. I'm going to cover that in the next few minutes in terms of a tighter time frame. So the first thing we know is that the price cycle is very low, so it's oversold in an uptrend. I would prefer to see it down here, of course, with convergence However, let's go a bit closer to the market to see what's going on. And this is typical of these kind of markets that you might see. So this is the Advanced Pro charts on the 30-minute chart. We can see that the price is holding on to this market structure, onto the uptrend, onto the above the central pivot, above the support lines, and we can see that we do have a target of 22,741. Now, that's a lot. That's 326 bits. It might not get there, but you've got to give it every opportunity. Otherwise, you might not get, you might not get anywhere in life. You've got to give it a chance. But we'll see how this goes. He's making a bit of money. No, US Canadian. Did I cover that one? Oh, I did. Yeah. The US Canadian is doing all right. Aussie New Zealand. We can see very straightforward. We made some money. Now we're not bothered. You're not going to buy it up there. That makes no sense whatsoever. Just flicking round. There's not enough pullback in these markets at the moment. The Swiss franc. So Swiss francs are off the table. This is actually not looking too bad, this one. There could be a position coming up on the Canadian. So it's nowhere near ready yet, but could be. Pound Swiss needs to pull back, doesn't it? On to the yens. These are looking lovely. I'm waiting for a pullback on all of these. Look at this. See how they're pulling back now, which is exactly what we expected. You could argue we could have sold it on supply. I don't know. It's against the trend. So, Canadian yen. Yes, I posted this yesterday in the VIP room. So look out for this, 104.56. This is a beautiful convergence area. And 2.19 to the target already given to you. Pound yen, yeah, a beautiful pullback is happening as we speak on this, so we do expect further upside for this price to continue in the uptrend. If the yen futures agrees, it might not. Bitcoin, not doing much. 107.574. Euro Aussie, congratulations on the Euro Aussie. Euro pound trade. Beautiful. Absolutely stunning way to trade money and make a lot of money. Well, have a wonderful day today. It doesn't look like markets are actually doing much, to be fair. Let's have a quick look at gold. So this is the gut. You know what? It's an outside bar, but it's not on demand. There's no strong demand area here. So this indicates it could just continue right down. There's no demand. Let's look on the 30-minute chart, see if we've got something going on here. We've definitely got an outside bar. And before I'm interested in buying this, I'm only interested in on demand, really. And we can see that demand here is 31.10, right down here, right down there on the 30-minute chart. And there's nothing to be seen on the 15-minute chart. So what this tells me really is that what could happen is you get a pull up, maybe quite shallow, before it goes down to 31.10. Something like that, not a complete reversal. So I would prefer to see a demand area first. Once I've seen the demand area, then I know there's highly likely to be a very deep correction back up to 32.15. Well, have a wonderful day, and I'll speak to you soon. If you have any questions, please let me know.